Top of the morning to you. Hey, I'm Michael, or as the grandkids call me, Roo. Thanks for jumping on this early Monday morning. It's gray here in the southeast where I live. Pray the storm has passed you by and you're safe, secure, and if you have some internet, you're watching. If not, catch me on the replay, as they say. Let me say good morning to you. Thanks for jumping on. What you just looked at was a crazy little video that I just shot. Didn't even spend a lot of time editing it. Carol and I got back from traveling this week. I've been in the mountains. I think I told you Saturday. We were at an old home place of ours up near Asheville. Not an old home place, but the old place where we called home for a long time. And she got back and said, oh, I've got my cooking class coming up, and I think I'm going to do something. And so then that prompted somehow for us to mention rolling pins. And so she hollers at me and comes and says, come here and help me get this box. And so we lifted out of the closet, and that prompted a tablecloth on the atrium floor there, and then she starts laying out rolling pins, and she goes, oh, let's just make a starburst out of them. And so next thing we know, I think there are 26 rolling pins in that thing. And so it reminds me that, it's fall coming into wintertime, which is maybe it's time to bake some bread. So let me say good morning here. And then she said, wait, you shot that video? Well, it didn't have my French bowl in the middle of it. So I had to go back and do that little shot. So that was that little spin with the French bowl in at the end. So Donna Sell Barton, good morning to you. Sheila, thank you for being here. Hey, I'm leaning over, so my camera's going to go out of focus a little bit. It can't recognize where I am yet this morning. So if you see the fuzz, just it'll finally settle in here when I get in the right position. Good morning, Shannon from Colorado, and Donna Bullman, John Robert Small, roommates, he calls them. Dude, you are one funny human being. I like the fact that you're involved somehow in fashion. I don't know what all you do, but I like your wit. Tamberly, thank you for being a part here. Blessings to all, she says. Randall Taylor Craven, morning. Brooke, thank you. Hope you had a great weekend. Man, I had a great weekend. I don't remember it, but I mean, it wasn't. I think I sat down on Saturday for a little while, actually. Oh, and then we took off to work. That's right. I painted Saturday morning. Then we went to do some serious work for many of you, and I'll explain what that is in a little bit. And then I have a granddaughter who is a sophomore in high school, and she swam in a South Carolina state meet and did amazingly well. She is fast. I was telling her about the old Chariots of Fire movie that I want to watch with her, where Eric Little says, God made me fast, and when I run, I feel his pleasure. So I said, just jump in the pool and just swim. She's good. She's awesome. Her name is Lily. We call her Lily Bug, and so I told her she was a water bug. You know how they skitter across the top of a pond? Joy, welcome to the show. Belinda, Patricia Brooks, thank you. Welcome to you. Got a little surprise for you, Patricia Brooks. Trish Brown, Lori Stanley Henderson. Lori Stanley Meyer Handelman. Just connect those two together. Fern Skelly, thank you. Margaret Meisinger, Sandy Carson. Guten Tag, he says. Jean Small does. Bob Hendrick from the windswept cornfields. Yes, sir, buddy. I like those adjectives you're throwing out there. Pretty soon you're going to do a little book of poems with some of your small sketches about the Iowa cornfields. And it's going to be linked with golf. Trust me, I'm not being prophetic here. I just think that's where your bent is going here. Or should I say you're hooking to that side. Or slice a piece of that cornbread off for me, okay? Carol Hodges, beautiful shirt. Thank you so much. My wife buys all my blue shirts. And this one is pretty. Look at this, huh? And this, you know what she says? This whole thing, I've had it for years. I have a closet full of blue shirts. So there. Andy, Karen Bender, Andy, Virginia McClure, Julie Waldner, thank you. Julie, I just showed someone your painting last night, the face. Whoa, it is so good. So good, so good. Jan Campbell, Mickey Hupp, Carol Hodges, Jennifer, Michelle, Jackie Wallace, Sherry, goodness gracious, Jane Fugue, or Fag, as you say, or I always think of it as music, so I slaughter last names, but it's my memory tool. It's the mnemonic that I use. Mnemonic. You ever tried to spell mnemonic? Hey, listen, it doesn't start with a P either. Listen, I hope the bees are well. We were just talking about bees this morning while I was having my first cup of tea. We were talking about bees, so I hope your bees are doing well. Mitzi, thank you for being on the show. Ruth Ann, Teresa, Ann, goodness gracious, Terry Tardy, anticipating the Terry Tardy turquoise this morning. I'm glad you finally have bowed to it, knowing that it's there. And I'll be talking to the painting company. They're not going to do anything, but it's kind of funny, isn't it? Terry Tardy turquoise. It's T with a little 3. T3. All right. Heather, thank you for being on the show. Good morning this Columbus Day. All right. It is Columbus Day. I should paint the Nina or the Pinta or the Santa Maria or the little brown bucket they went to sea in. Heather, thank you for being on the show. Mary Kay Nugent Wisniewski. Huh? How'd I do? Okay. Deborah, welcome. Ruth. Lee Packus, good morning from I-4 in Central Florida. Yes, where you get a good look at the scenery as you travel down I-4 toward the great metropolis of Disney. The reason you get a good view is because you're moving so slow. I love it. Patricia Hazel, Annie Morgan from Texas, Judy Skinner. Wow, okay, I'm going to pip ahead here. Viv, you guys are piling on the show, pouring in this morning. Thank you for being here. No logo on the shirt today. No, if you want to send me something to put on this shirt, I can probably get it appliqued on there. This shirt is, I'll stay clear of that. My Monday evenings is never the same since I discovered your Facebook Live. Well, Belinda, thank you. That means wherever you are in the world, London, Australia, France, Dubai, somewhere you're watching it for, hey, Jack Wolfenbarger, hello. You're watching it night's what I was going to say. It's Monday. Every day's a holiday. Yes, sir, Jack Wolfenbarger. It is these days, isn't it, brother? And it might as well be. If you're able to stand and take nourishment, it's a holiday. And holidays are good for space and light, and that's in life and in painting. See there what I did? See, I just took one of my ruisms and twisted it around a little bit. That's what you got to do. You got to twist your art around a little bit. All right, let's get started here. Here's what the desk looks like. I'll come back, and here we go. Brenda Tucker says you're on 601 just down the road. Yes, I've been through there many times. All right. Here's what the desk looks like this morning. There's a big piece of art. There's a piece of art some of you remember from my first 100 days of painting. When COVID started, I started painting, and this B was my B52, and then I went to B100, and now I'm being careful as I move forward. Hey, this is a 9x12 piece of 140-pound watercolor paper. I might have to find a little more desk space here. Let's see if I can do that. Look at that. Turn the harmonica over there so you can see that. This is a pretty good sized piece of paper. For me, this would be considered a large piece of art. Now, I've done larger pieces. I've done 18 by 20s. I've done 24 by 26. I just finished one for my neighbor. Some of you saw me paint that. I really love small art. I love that it's whimsical. I love that it's fun to put on any wall. And I love the fact that it can be shipped so easily and people can have it in no time. And I love the fact that you don't have to spend a fortune to get it framed. So I love that too. Hold on, let me get a little music going here. There's some right there. Hey, I got something to show you. Take a look at this without spilling it. Let me see if I can. Here, let me turn it around this way. Let me go to this camera right here. Look at this. First time, first sip. Oh my goodness. Wait, let me hold it up level. There it is right there. There it is. It's a roux mug. Let me see if I can get a shot with the cam going down here from the desk cam. There it is right there without pouring it all over my desk. It's close right there. The tea's tipping, but there you go. Can you see that? A little dark in here, but there it is right there. It's got a roux on it. This mug is an M mug, which I love. And yes. It cost a fortune to mail them, but they are all boxed. They're going to be shipped today. They're going to come to you like so, in a little box like this, which is filled with bubble wrap and a piece of packing in the bottom. And you'll have to just about dynamite it apart, so be careful when you open it. So there it is right there. This one doesn't have the bubble wrap in it yet, so there's one I can show you. The side of it, that's it. See how thick it is? I love it. It weighs 1 pound and 3 ounces. So when you put the liquid in it, that's why you need both hands on it. It even has a little Roodoodles official card coming in the first time ever, okay? My daughter said, look, let's just drop the head in there so they'll have that too. And I got to show you this. And this one, of course, Pat Brooks, this one's coming to you. I kept it out today, and they all get shipped today. So I wanted you to see it on the show. And here's the bags. Take a look. For those of you who ordered the bags, these are sold out, by the way. The Roodoodle bag, we're bugging out, it says. And there's the size of it. Take a look. Wow, this is a 6x6 piece of paper. Look at that. It'll fit right in there. So you can take small paper, you can take your pen, you can take your paint, you can take this. So those of you, those bags are gone. I will try to print some more of these before Christmas. Whew, it has been a bear to do this. I'm not complaining, folks, but I'm just saying, just to get all the wheels rolling and do it. I'm not going to reprint the mugs right away, but I have 20 of these left. 20 of these left, and you can find them at roodoodles.com. I think there are 20 mugs left, I believe. You can look on the site and see, and they'll go. So anyway, there's a little piece in the box that'll go in there. This is going to fold over like this, and then just roll right up like this. And this goes down in the mug like this, zoop, with bubble wrap all around. And Pat, the label will go right over that, so that one's coming to you later today. There they are. Man, I'm excited. My first sip out of one was this morning. I'm drinking Builder's tea. I had a box of it here somewhere. Here it is right here. You know, Builder's tea. I drink Builder's tea, and I'm always telling you about this box. I love it. Look at it. It's got a construction worker on it. It's pick of the crop. It's strong, it's sturdy, it's well put together. This is really why I bought it originally. I wanted to taste it. I have my Builder's tea ready. Skeeter Pal says, look, Britain wasn't built on chamomile. Don't you love that? And I really love it. They sent me this box. They just said, hey, thank you for talking about the tea on the show. And, you know, they're not really a sponsor, and they don't need me yet. But I appreciate all you guys drinking Builder's tea. Look, if you want a strong, robust tea, that's the only commercial you're going to actually hear me say. All right, there it was right there. I just did it. Missed out on the bags and bugs. Must have missed a post about these. Man, Jessica, it's been a long time. They've been coming for months when I did it. So the bags sold out right away. I still have 20 mugs left. And they weigh a pound. I think it's when you see the postage on them, you'll go, oh my gosh. So I'm excited. Here we go. Let's paint something. What do you say? I was going to use a little piece of tape this morning. Got a little tender guitar music going in the back. All right, so this is just artist tape. The reason I know is because it says artist tape right inside the label there. And I paid a lot of money for artist tape. I'm not sure why I did. Watch what I do with this piece of tape. I'm just going to put it on my shirt like that right there. This is a good little trick to learn if you paint with tape and you use watercolor paper that has cotton in it. Or just put it on this side over here. Kind of make myself a tux here. Put it here like this. Put another piece on here like this. Okay, so there we go. Now, that's why I use my tape right there. You're thinking, what the heck is that guy doing? Look, the lint from the shirt will take some of the adhesive from the tape, so when I put it on the painting, like so, it won't pull up the fabric or the cotton in the and I'm not measuring, I'm not paying attention. I'm just putting it on here for fun like that right there. Okay, so it's a good way to make some fun borders. And you can say, well, I use masking tape for this, and some people use blue painter's tape for this, but, you know, it sticks pretty well. And blue painter's tape will pull sometimes the cotton up off the paper. And you say, oh, that one's not too straight, but hey, look, I'm just going to do something fun here anyway. So I think what I'm going to do is just take my fountain pen, and I'm just going to do kind of a chunky Roo right here. Here he is right there. I think I forgot to turn off my email, so if you see some email coming up, you can read it. This paper and this pen are not matching real well today, and you'll find that sketching with a fountain pen on 100% cotton paper will take a little bit of work, okay? All right, so there's a little Roo that I just sketched. And the Blick has artist tape that on sale quite often. There you go. Pat has got all the, let me tell you, this woman is an artist, and so when she posts something on the show, pay attention, okay? She can tell you how to do it on the down low most of the time. But yes, you're right. You're going to find artist tape. When it runs on sales, get it. You can use masking tape. Yes, you can. But be careful if you leave it on your art too long. The adhesive on it will adhere to the paper, and when you rip it up, you're going to ruin a good painting. So I just put a piece of tape on my sleeve, and I didn't do this one long, on my shirt or on my sleeve, and I'll put it on there, maybe pull it off, put it on again, and that'll take some of the adhesive off, and then it'll peel right up even on thin paper after it's set there for a while. Zip, without ripping the paper. Now watch what'll happen. I'll rip this piece of paper this morning probably, just because I've said that. Just grab another couple of these pens here. I love black and white. Some of you, we finished a show just recently, and you did black and white, and I love that. Just these pens bleed. I think some of you know that by now, and you know kind of what I'm looking for when I find a pen that bleeds. I'm just going to grab a little bit of tea out of my cup. Let's see. I've got a cup I hadn't drank out of. Where's that? I'll just use water. Here we go. Here we go. So I think what I want to do now, let me get a little more of this pen in here too. Just do some hash marks with it. I might just leave in black and white. Yeah, I think I'm going to. All right. All right. So clear out a hole here. Just kind of make a hole. There it is right there. Let me go in on him just a little bit. Let's see if I can do that so you get a better view. Look at that. All right. Thanks for letting me just be, kind of not a slick and polished show here, but just reach up and change the camera and do things. I'm trying to make it so you can see better and see what I'm doing. So I always start with the tail feathers, and this is just clean water. I have it in a mason jar over here like this. Me and Mr. Mason, we go back a few years. My dad was a mason, but not a mason as in masons. He was a mason as in a block mason, and I love that. I grew up mixing mud and carrying block and brick, or not really. He was more of a block mason in foundations, because he found out that he could lay the block and get them on the way he wanted them, and then start building the house too. He was a carpenter really, or contractor, but he was a heck of a carpenter. Made all his own bee boxes and all that stuff. He was pretty cool at what he did. Just dropping some water on there and just letting that ink do its thing. Watch what happens right here. Its thing. Can't believe I really said that. I'm from East Tennessee, you know. Okay, and just swipe across here a little bit and let this go in. Just get some water up here in the corners. I might come in with a little touch of green right here, and just muddy green, dirty green. Look at that. Okay, let's get a little more green in that. Just put it in so you get some brush coming. So all right, there may be a little blue up here in the sky, just where I got this. Okay, this is why I figured out after all these days of why Bob Ross talked like he did on his shows, because it was so quiet in the studio and it was just him, and he's telling himself, this is what I think I'm going to do before I do it, and I think I'll put a little blue up here just to highlight this rooster. And you're going like, wow. And you think, wow, that's I didn't think that was important for a while, and I realized that's sort of what pulled me in, and I just realized I was doing it naturally without even thinking about it. Kind of like that right there. Sometimes just toying with a little bit of color, and I'll do this often in my sketchbooks. I'll just mess around with a little bit of color and not do too much. Maybe just touch a little spot of red there, and a little spot of red there. Somehow this music sort of matches this rooster I'm painting. So watch. I'm just going to take this tape and peel it off, like so. Still ripped a little bit right there. This paper's pretty. You know what? I just had the air on kind of heavy last night, And so what you're seeing is a piece of paper that's, I keep my paper sometimes in a cabinet drawer just to keep it out of the changing moisture. Paper will respond differently in the wintertime. It just feels, how you walk in the morning, your tablecloth, if your air conditioner's been on, feels a little damp and the humidity in the air. Well, same thing will happen here. So be careful. All right. Okay, so what did I write on that? Must be fall colors. Must be fall. I should put a comma there, huh? Bloop. Must be fall. Colors are starting to, you thought I was going to say change, show out. Get it? They're starting to show out. Not as kids show out, but as they just display themselves. So there's as much color in the earth as there is in some of my roosters who are out there, and I kind of like that. That's kind of a fun little thing to see. Browns and oranges and reds, and I saw an oak tree yesterday. A maple tree is really right here, and now just getting beautiful. So this is one thing that would make me think I'd like to live in upstate New York. So there's a small painting in the middle of a 9x12. So I took a big piece of paper and still made a small piece of art out of it. Now I could frame this with a lot of white around it, everything up, a nice mat. Maybe I'd go into a fall mat and just leave that rooster like he is. Don't touch him anymore. Don't add any more color to him. I think I'm done. Love it. Okay. Always love the not yet. Thank you very much. Victoria Board, thank you. If I do some more bags, and I'm going to try to do some, I will post those. Right now I know I think there's about 20 mugs at roodoodles.com. You can order those there, but I'll try to get some. Thank you, Tina, that you like the shirt I'm wearing. I like it too because it's nice and thick. I noticed that I don't have pens that react on water. Make sure to have them bleeding. Now I need some bleeding ones. Nicole, that's you don't have to. It's just my style. Remember this. You don't have to do anything in art. It's your art. It needs to be your voice. But if you want a pen that bleeds, then that's a fountain pen, or it's these pens that I use, the Intergel needlepoint pen tails, have become a fun sketching pen. Now, if you're doing very fine work, cartoon work, calligraphy work, you don't want a pen that bleeds. You want a pen that's archival or permanent or rapidograph or fine line or Coptic. You want a pen that you can put on there and it dries just like that. These pens, the ink in a pen is a pigment, and it's water-based, and so it's going to lay there on the paper, and if you put water on it right away, it's going to take off. I love it because I learned that style by sketching with the early flare pens. You remember those the architectural pen? There's usually a flare laying on the desk somewhere. Yeah, like this flare right here. So here's one right here. And so here's one right here. You can't even see it. I'm showing it to you. You can't see it. All right, so there's a painting done this morning. A different use of color. Everyone who watches me paint a rooster thinks, oh, you know what he's going to do? He's going to paint this rooster, and he's going to make it all blue and black and green. And yes, what's his signature color? Oh, you didn't think I was going to get there? Oh, no, I'm going to get there. Watch this. There it is right there. Why would a guy who dresses in blue shirts have a Terry Tardy turquoise trademark color? That's 4 T's. Terry Tardy turquoise trademark. I just like that because it's not a color that you see that often in nature unless you see it at the ocean. And the blues or the greens sometimes. You see it in stones or rocks. Okay. But what I wanted you to see was the difference in this is that I painted the background blue and I left the character black and white, which is kind of like how I see myself when I walk in the mountains in the fall. You don't even care how bright your dress is, or your shirt, or your shoes, or your boots, or you just look and you go, I'm taken back by the awesomeness of this. Leaves are fun to paint, but don't overpaint them. Nature's already done that. Just paint what you see. Okay, so there you go. So there's a good little thing. Must be fall. Colors are starting to show out. That to me is an artistic phrase, and this I belabored a point here, but it's like they just show out. They come home. I like that. I like this painting. I say that a lot, don't I? Hey, here's another piece of paper. Let's look at this one. It's about the same size as the other one, but it's 6 by 6. This is fluid watercolor paper. It's cold press finish. Okay, and this is what's called a block. It's an easy block, and what it means if it's a block, for those of you who haven't been with me for 100 and some odd days, it's glued on the edges, usually on 2 edges. This is an easy block, so it's glued down here and here. I think the sides are open on this one. Sometimes you'll get a solid block of paper like this paper here, and it's glued all the way around, except for one little corner right here. And so what I do for that is I take a spatula or a knife, usually a palette knife, and there's usually one laying here somewhere. It's probably in my bug out bag. And I'll take that and I'll slide it underneath the edge, and I'll lift this piece of paper up. It's good to paint on a block sometimes if you like to use a lot of water, because that way the paper doesn't buckle as much. So there you go. There's your helpful tip for today. Black and white with color accents, Karen says. Yep. I use blue painter's tape and it works well, Chris. That's fantastic. When I use it, there's 2 reasons I don't use it. One is it sticks to the paper that I use, especially on humid days, and so I have to stick it all over my shirt, and I like this little thin tape better. That's personal taste. If you already have blue paint, use it. The other one is if I put blue tape on here, it affects my eye for the other colors, because things look different against different colors. You ever notice that? You ever notice that your sofa looks like a hue of gray or green when you paint the wall that color? So a white tape that matches more of the paper lets your eyes see the colors pop more than if you're painting blue against blue. It's hard to tell how deep my blue is. That's the one thing that I have learned while painting. I probably learned more than that, but there's my reasons. So I never say you can't. You can use anything you want. You can use gaff tape if you want. You know what gaff tape is? Gaff tape is like $16 a roll, and it is some pretty serious tape. And you think, oh no, you just tape on that. But gaff tape is like the race car uses it, but look, when it comes up, it's going to bring some paper with it, okay? So, but it will hold on at 100 miles an hour. All right, so this is a 6 by 6 fluid watercolor. Love this paper. Bound on 2 sides. Why 6 by 6? Wow. I can do a quick painting, and I can drop it in an envelope and have it to someone to accent their office, their kitchen very rapidly, and I love that. It's just a great creative platform for me. And it works well for what I paint, roosters. I can start here or here and get an entire rooster in there, or 2 peeps standing on a kitchen chair, or whatever I want to do. Just have some fun with that. Let's see here. How did I start the show this morning? I started with the rolling pin, right? One of Carol's 20-something rolling pins that she has here. And so, didn't know where I was going to go with this painting, so I'm just going to start. There's a little idea of a rolling pin. I didn't draw that correctly, did I? Do I have an eraser up here? If I don't, it's going to be a long morning. There we go. Let's see, how would this be? I think that's what I wanted right there. I think I wanted an axe and not a flag. I'm just working this out here as I go. There we go. All right, just jump in with my pen right here. This is number 7. Let's see if I have a 5 up here on the deck somewhere. Here's 5 right here. When I say 5 or 7, here's what I mean. I think you can see that barely. There's one. This is a 7 right here. It says '07. This is an '05. These are Pentel. And of course, I wrote the company, and they said, we don't care. But I wrote them, and I said, I'd love it if you would do all of your 7s in the white metal barrel, and if you would do your blues or your 5s in the blue. Wouldn't that be great for artists? He said, oh, well, some people want 7s blue on their desk for aesthetics. I'm going like, people are working from home right now. Who cares? Okay, so I love to argue with people. But these are all needle tip. It says needle tip right on there. And these are Intergel liquid gel ink. So these pens, this has become, for the last probably 8 years, this has become my premier sketching tool. Now what's going to happen is they'll want to change pens. They go, we've been painting, we've been making those for several years. Let's stop and make something new. It happens every time. And so it'll take me about another 6 months till I have to go find another pen that does what this does. Meanwhile, I'll buy up a few dozen boxes, and I'll just have them for the next few years until I find something. So that's happened with lots of pens. That happened with these. And then finally, I lost these completely. They were gone. This is a little ultrafine flare, and they changed the ink in this. They came out with this one. They said, it's the same pen. I go, it doesn't even look like the same pen. It has a different shaped felt tip, and it has different color ink. And they argued and said, no, it doesn't. So I did a little video and showed them, and they went, oh my gosh, it bleeds almost purple. The other one blue. I went, ta-da. So they said, okay, we quit. We're still not going to make this one. So these are Pentel. There you go. So I'll take a 5, and then I'll come in like this, and I'm going to draw this little peep up here. This is how I draw my quick little peeps. Got just little feathers and fuzz going all over the place. He's got a wing coming up around this axe handle right here. It goes under his wing. And then down in front of him right here, the axe handle has a lift on it like that. See that? Got it in there. Okay, I drew that knowing what it looked like. I love it, like when it does that. Got an axe head here. Going to have an eye opening right up here for this handle. Comes down. It's a little thicker there. Comes down here. Got a feather going in front of it there. One behind here. Little tail feather. See, I'm talking to myself, aren't I? And that's crazy how that happens. Right. So when you decide what it is that you're going to paint, this is what you do. You just build up little ideas. So I don't sketch too much with pencils anymore, but I did this one just to show you that I still love it sometimes, just to learn what it is that I'm doing. Maybe this has a little knob on the end of it right here. This one, of course, you can't see because it's going off the page, which is perfectly fine with me. All right. All right, so then I can take, then I can take my, take my pencil and get all, or my eraser, and get all that pencil work out of there if I want to, like so. And by the way, I am erasing very lightly because those pens that bleed on humid paper will sometimes smear when you even erase them. So make sure your eraser is dry too. Make sure you haven't spilled it in the water or drip water on it from the water jar. All those little things that you're going to learn, those are all the mistakes you're going to make while you're painting. So what? So what? You know what? That's what you're going to have to do. To learn to do things, you have to fail. And it's got to be okay to fail. Nobody's injured, nobody, to my knowledge, has been fatally injured painting watercolor. Okay? I think you're going to be safe here. All right. All right. So this is a little 6x6 painting. Let's see what happens if I just throw some color to it here. I'm just going to go in here and grab a little bit of water, not much, and wet some of that. Then I'm going to go grab some of this Gamboge. I loosen these colors up and just let it splatter in here just like so. Notice that I'm just holding my brush way back and I'm just letting it take off on its own a little bit here. Leaving little holidays in there. Holidays, those little blank spots. I don't like their beak to be the same color as their bodies, and so I'll reach over and get a little, maybe a touch of, not necessarily brown, but maybe a sienna of some sort. excuse me, sienna. The axe head should probably be a little bit of a grayish silver. I clean out my brush between every one of the paints. I know some of you get tired of me saying the same thing, but the point is, do you ever have an axe when do you ever give an axe to your children? The first axe. My boys wanted that first axe. They said, hey, when are we going to get an axe? And so it's going to be fun to do that, okay? I want that axe head to be a little red right up here, and I want this to be more of a gray marked silver down here like that. And then I'm going to go get a little bit of just some interesting brown that might make a good hickory handle. And that's a little more than I wanted, so let's just go there. There we go. And maybe a little touch of Payne's gray in there to darken that handle up so it's got a little dirt on it. And this axe head too. I might just dirty it up just a little. And here's another thing I can do with the pen now. I can come in with this 7 here, and I can just put some marks on this pen, or this axe head like this. Get some ding marks, a chip in it too. Handle can have a little bit of a couple marks in it like that. All right. Give these feet about the same color that I gave his... all right. So when you're watercoloring, don't spend a lot of time getting every little detail. Back off. Leave some spots there. I think I need a good color that would look like maple, don't you? There, I think that's it right there. These ends are going to be a little darker just because they're grain, the wood grain. Maybe a little darker down here underneath where the light is, and also maybe shadow the little peeps standing on this, like so. A little bit of shadow there. Maybe a little more just yellow to make that thing pop like that. That looks kind of cool. All right, then let's go get some of this this color that the handles. One of Carol's favorite rolling pins has turquoise handles. Some of them have blue. Yes, of course they would have blue, right? She has a lot that have blue on them. All right, and speaking of blue, I'm going to take a little bit of blue and put it up here on this axe head, just like that too, just a little bit. All right, I'm not worried about how close I get to this. I'm letting some of that color fade into the shadow here. See what I did? Okay. And that way it gives me like true light shadows, so that if the light are causing this to shadow, you're going to get some of the object's color in the shadow. We're too often think that shadows are just black or gray, and it's not necessarily true. Okay, so go out and spend a little time looking at what you're painting at, and just have some fun. Now there, I didn't need to do that, so I'll just go and erase a little bit with that paper towel. All right, let's go in and get a little dirt on this painting right here, like so. Maybe a little Payne's gray, like so. And I'm going to come in and I'm going to do some marks in the end of this. Like so. Might touch him with a little bit of orange right here. Quiet today, isn't it? Yeah, because I'm not talking as much as I normally talk. All right, so I gave my boys their first axe, and then I got a caption for this one already, but I'm going to wait just for a second to put it on. All right, let me change gears. So far, just to recap, painted this with a little tape. That's fall colors coming out. Good morning from Oregon, Ina. Is it Ina? Ina, good morning from Washington. Love your paintings. Thank you, Patricia. And Jay Farr, thank you for jumping on board today, sir. Hi from the UK. Love your painting. Thank you, Sharon. Think of you, the guys, my friends in the UK all the time, because I'm drinking Builder's tea. Love it, love it, love it. All right. I love that you love your art. Thank you, Victoria. You know what? I love it because it's not that I'm bragging on it that is that good. I'm a whimsical caricature, not a caricature. I'm just a whimsical, whimsy, zany painter. Uh, but I love it because it connects me to something that's important in my life. Did you hear that? My art connects me to something that's important in my life. So I do paint things that I love. So there is some love in that. That's very important. Carol keeps a canvas down near the art bar, and I will tell you, it's blue, green, water, turquoise, white streak. It's water. You look at it and you go, that's water. She's done the lily pads in it several times. It's her take on Monet's garden. And then one day I came in and the beautiful water lilies were all painted out. And she said, I didn't like the striations of all the white. It needed more white. It needed more light coming through those trees. And now she can say that because we've stood there and looked at it. And we did sketches there. And so eventually she'll come back to it, but she's painting something that she loves. And one day she'll settle on it. And so she'll grab things. We were in Charleston, and we ate some fresh oysters at a place right off the bay. And she saved two of the most beautiful of the whole lot, two of the most beautiful oyster shells, puts them in a Ziploc, brings them back. Oh, they smell great in the car. And then she put them outside and bleached them and washed them, not to take the color off, but just so they get the odor off, and then laid them out on that seabed of blue and painted them. And so she loves to paint the things she loves. So that's what you should do, okay? I paint roosters because it's part of my name, and they, to me, are a part of my storytelling. All right. Yeah, I'm sorry, you guys in the West Coast. And one of my days in Florida, I didn't get all the leaves turned either. Caroline Miller, you're going to like the 6x6 block paper. It is really fun to paint on. And for you guys in Central Florida, yeah, you don't get much. You just kind of go from green to a little more of a little brown. I'm glad you're experimenting with things, and so keep rocking on. So many guys are popping on the show this morning. Thank you so much for watching and commenting. Love it. All right, I'm trying to catch up a little bit with you here. And, wow. Here we go. Okay. I love it that the world has become a smaller place because of Roo. Well, that's a kind thought. Annette says, you've lived a creative life. You have a million stories. I do. And I've told you a million times, Annette, not to exaggerate. The art of storytelling is embellishing. It's just stretching it out a little bit. But I am highly favored. And someday I pray that all of you will wake up and go, oh, we're highly favored. We're here. We were born on this planet, on this place, in this country. Wow. And those of you who are in other countries around the world, you were born there to make a difference too. You're just as highly favored. Make a difference in how you can right now. If you go to the market, smile through your mask. You know, you can still do that. All right, so this thing here is going to get a little bit of a fun caption here, and I got time to paint one more. I'm just rocking and rolling here this morning. I like that. I would like for this handle to be a little more brown, and so I'm going to go in there and burn some brown right in there. I just think it's not standing out enough from my peep. There he goes. Oh, that's so much better. See, it needed that. Just didn't have the right angle there for a minute. And I think what I'm going to do is, watch this. I'm going to go in with a paper towel. And I think this peep needs to be a little lighter right here. So I'm just going to touch him right there and take some of that out and fill that with a touch of, throw that brush down and get my lighter brush here. Just fill that with just a little touch of orange right there. Yeah, there we go. Sometimes you just go back and look at him a little bit and change him. He needs a little more orange in his legs, just a touch, like so. All right. There you go. Mom needs the rolling pin. Chill. I'm a lumberjack. I don't know why that makes me laugh, but it does. We were laying all those things out on the floor yesterday. I don't know where my knife is either. I don't see it up here, so I'll just use my pocket knife. Look, if you use a pocket knife and it's sharp, and mine are, just trust me, okay? Then you want to turn the knife down. You don't want to turn it up to cut the painting, or you want to just slide it through a little bit under one piece of paper. You're going to go in like this. I'm just going to slide it around like this. Actually, I'm pressing a little upward on it. Cutting through the glue. Roll it around the edge like this. Sliding across. This knife is so sharp, should never do it with a sharp knife. Okay, there we go. So I cut off the two sides of the block. It remains flat, and there's your painting right there. Okay. Mom needs a rolling pin. Chill. I'm a lumberjack. I'm a lumberjack, and I'm okay. 6x6. Don't you love this little paper? It's fantastic. This is called, one more time, fluid watercolor. It's pretty inexpensive, and it's cold fit. They also make a hot press. Okay, hot press, cold press. There's a difference. You can read about it. We go through that. Sometimes we go through that on 857. That class is closed. Hey, I am working on what I'm going to do for November. It looks like I might do a painting class in November. It looks like it's going to be 4 weeks, but I'm going to probably do Monday, Friday class. And I think I'm just going to paint Christmas roos because those are so fun to do. In fact, I may even paint one tomorrow. I may paint a Christmas root tomorrow that just has a story behind it. It's going to be a big old one of them. Well, shoot, I might just do it right now. What the heck? Where did you get it, Melanie? Cheap Joe's can get it for you. You can order it from Cheap Joe's. You can order it on Amazon. You can order it anywhere. Good watercolor supplies. Blick. You can get it from Jerry's Artorama, which is Rickenbacker. No, it used to be Rickenbacker. It's Jerry's Artorama. You can get it. Shop it around. Shop all your supplies around. Cheap Joe's sent these out. I'm working on an art project for a client. 20 people are showing up this weekend on a one-day art thing. One of my tool clients has invited me to do watercolor with all their marketing team. And so I bought a ton of papers and supplies for them. And so we're going to go and put them together, a whole little kit that they can take home. So that's been fun. That's been a fun thing to do, work on that. Holly, thank you. Didn't you think that the rolling pin needed a bright color? Yeah. See, did you remember the thing I rolled this morning? The piece of video here. Look at that. There was turquoise in those handles. Did you see it? There's some scribble over the wall. Yeah. There they are. There with the French bowl in the middle. On a French tablecloth, of course they are. Now the bowl's removed, but it gives you an idea. Why do we have that many rolling pins? Obviously you don't know who I live with. These have been picked up all over the Southeast. Bargain shopping. There's one still the price tag. That's the mini pearl one, I think. All right, so that gives you an idea right there. All right, I think I stopped it too early. Yes, now it'll fade out to me. Okay, so you get an idea. So that's where the rolling pin idea came from. So see, I'm painting what's in my life. People who sit down to paint some mornings go, oh no. I don't know what I'm going to paint. I don't know what I'm going to paint. And you go like, where are you sitting? Are you sitting on a bench outside? Does somebody have a coffee cup in their hand? Do you have a vase that has a flower in it? And is one of those flowers just needing help, or is one of them just bright? Paint where you are. Is it a bug that's crawling across the floor? Paint the bug. Is it a butterfly, a beetle, a lizard, a grasshopper? I learned to paint a grasshopper one day by being out by the pond and thinking, if that grasshopper knew how small this pond was, he would go find a bigger place. But then I thought, he's happy right where he is. So I just had in my mind this little story of this grasshopper, and I started painting him. Music's kind of slow this morning. I'm going to have to find me some good production music that has a little more oomph to it, I think. So okay, so there you go. So this is the idea right here. Let's see, where's my pen? Here's a fountain pen. I'll bring this fountain pen in. I think you can see that okay. Got stuff everywhere. I'm not apologizing for the fact that I got stuff everywhere. It's just kind of how I paint, right? There's a little preliminary here for what I might do in November. Just some Christmas stories. I like the fact that it's not a fancy. It's just a bucket. Maybe there's a brick laying next to it, holding it up. There it is right there. Maybe there's a little peep right here. He's in fountain pen too, so he's going to bleed quite a bit. And he's got his foot out like the Roo. Maybe there's one up here. I think I will change pen for him. Let's see. Let me go to this 5. See there? I did it again. Okay, 5 right here. Just go to a little peep right here. A little furry, feathery peep up on top of the tree. He's holding a Christmas ball in his hand there, like that, in his hand. See, I do it. I talk about them like they're people. I know they're not. I'm smarter than that. But I get into my art a little bit. So that's just what happens, Those of you who paint cats and dogs or snails, snails don't say a lot. I photographed one in France. I put him in my journal that I really liked, though. He was huge, crossing the road, and I thought, run! There's a restaurant up the street. You wouldn't have to say that. You wouldn't have to say that too much in this country, but when you're in France, you better get the heck out of here. All right. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to paint this very quickly here. We'll finish up. Watch this. I'll do this in 10 minutes or less. All right. Here we're going to go. I'm just going to go with some water first. Here it is. Just clean water. Remember, this was a number 5 pen, so it's pretty thin. It's not going to bleed much. Didn't care for it to. Just dropping some water in here. Not paying close attention to where I'm dropping it. I'm going to go get a little bit of yellow. I'm going to finish his beak with a little bit of yellow, and then just let this yellow follow the red. Run into the red and let it sort of sweep out. See it? It's starting to run down right there. Okay. Then I'm going to go back here and get a little bit of blue and just let it come in. Look how I'm holding my brush. I'm just letting the water do what the watercolor does. Get some lamp black. I cleaned out my brush between. What I'm doing here is, notice I've been mixing all my paint on the palettes. I show you this time and time again. This is my style. It's not what you need to do. If you have a big area where you mix colors, you want to get all the colors right before you put them in, that's fine. Sometimes it's a little too controlled for me. Shocked, you say, that he's controlled? No, he's not controlled. So what I'm saying is, notice I had a little yellow in this brush, and I just had this moment where I thought, I'd like a little green in this tail, because after all, it is Christmas. And I'd like a little layer of green in this tree, okay? So I'm just going to add a little yellow-green to this tree. And notice I've done something that you would learn in any art school. Start with your lighter colors first and then add the dark. If you start with dark colors first, your lights are gone. Your lights are out, so to speak, okay? Your lights are out. So in this case, back over here, I'm going to take a little of this yellow, which is gamboge or gamboge. I'm going to take a little touch of red and put it in here, and I'm going to get the orangey leg color that I like. I'm going to take a little bit of this gray and add it in there. Maybe a little darker gray if I want, depending on that. That looks like kind of a chicken leg color today for me. I'm going to just go bring it in. And the reason this is a little lighter than I would normally do their legs, there's a reason for that, and I'll show you what the reason is in just a second. Okay? How am I doing? Still got 10 minutes, so I can knock this out here. All right, so now I'm going to go back here and add a little darker green to this tree. Just kind of bouncing my brush around like this. A little spindly tree. This is a Charlie Brown type tree. While I'm letting this dry a little bit here, just sort of getting it's sunk into the pigment of the paper a little bit. So that's what I'm doing. I'm watching the water. I'm watching how my paper is absorbing the water. I'm painting on Kilimanjaro bright white 140-pound paper, 100% rag cotton. So I'm letting the cotton fibers soak up this pigment. All right, so that's what I'm doing. Now, while that's drying, I'm going to go in here and just get a little bit of this. There's a Christmas ball there. Then I'm going to go get a little bit of this yellow and bring these peeps into being here, with just some spots of them too. I think you can see what I'm painting there. Little peep, and this one up here in the tree. You know the stories. You know me well enough now to know that, you know what's going to happen is that these peeps always have the upper hand on the Roo. The Roo is the farm bard. He's the boisterous one who says, I've got this covered. And then yet he's always the one who kind of flumbles and messes up, but he comes through in the end. But it's because the other people have counsel in his life. Does that sound like me? Yes. Okay? That's when you marry a woman who is discerning and wise and truthful, and will say, I got to tell you, that wasn't smart. You should have done this. And I'm like, gosh, do you have to tell me that now? She goes, well, you need to know it now. And so most of the time, she would say all the time, she's right. Okay. All right, so there we go. So I'm going to go in with one more touch of green, a little different color, just a little darker. So I started my light colors. I'm dropping my other ones on. And look, I'm not overpainting this Christmas tree. If I overpaint the tree, I can't put anything on it later. And I'm going to go get a little bit of brown in here, just a little bit of green in that brush, and come in with a little bit of that. And then maybe a little red brick down here, or brown brick. And then, where's my pen? I like to add a little. The reason I'm doing all this now is because I'm racing through the morning here, and this is kind of how I paint anyway. Not really. Most of my commissions are I'll sit down and I'll take a little more time. I'll sip 2 cups of tea. But I like on the show to keep the action flowing, so you'll hang with me and go, what's he doing now? I just don't want to watch paint dry, right? Jennifer Parker says, I'd love to see an alcohol ink by you. Jennifer, I've done those. I do have some alcohol ink, and I will do those big, and I'll do those in not a shirt that costs more than my desk, but I'll do those from time to time, and I will just drop the ink in and let it run, and it's fascinating to me. I love it. I'm not the greatest fan of alcohol in the world, alcohol to drink or to eat or to paint with, but my collection of wooden spoons would be very boring unless they decided to talk. There you go. See there? Show the new peeps your book, Annette says. Yeah, Annette, I don't even think I have one of my books up here today. So there, that's what a great marketer I am. I have a book that I've written called Hey Roo, What's a Wheelbarrow? It's on the website, though. You can find it on my website. But thank you for that selfless plug that you just gave me, Annette. And people can buy my book on Amazon, Roodoodles, Hey Roo, What's a Wheelbarrow? Or, and it's actually like $4 cheaper than if you buy it from me. But I pay postage both ways, and then I'll also paint an original in it if you buy it from roodoodles.com. And right now I know why I don't have it up here. I don't have any, but they are on the way. 2 weeks ago, they said the shipment would be in this week. We shall see. Publisher sends them in blocks as they print them. During COVID, it's been slow, but I've tried to keep up. So if you get a book from me and it says should have been here last week, no, it's in the mail somewhere. It's just taking a while right now to get the things that we're trying to get our hands on. Okay, all right, so I'm going to grab a pen. I'm going to grab a 7 because it'll write even over this wet ink. If I had a hairdryer up here, I'd just dry this a little quicker, or maybe a high-intensity light. And then, so here's what I'm going to do. Look at this right here. See where I'm headed with this? So I'll finish this later, but I'm going to show you where it's going, okay? So you understand what I'm doing now? I'm going to get a small little brush here. Let's see if I've got one. I think I have a little, I got a little dagger brush here somewhere. I usually carry one. There's one right there. A little dagger brush. it really, at one side, it looks like this right here. There's a dagger right there. Okay, this is a little 1/8" dagger. So what I would do now is I'd move my coffee cup out of the way. By the way, yeah, I think I told you. Yeah, and so there's a little yellow bulb. Here's a little, so I might do a green bulb there. I might do a green bulb here. I might do a green bulb here. Might do some red bulbs right here. Red bulb there. Red bulb there. Red bulb there. Maybe a red bulb here. Need an orange bulb because everybody knows how common orange bulbs are at Christmas. What the heck are we talking about? There's an orange bulb there. Maybe a blue bulb. Got to have a blue bulb there. Maybe a blue bulb there. One there. One there. Okay, so you see where this is going, right? He's got all the Christmas lights. He's getting ready to put the tree together. I'd put some more in there in the next 2 minutes. I'd do a little cap the light sets on. Maybe one here pointing out this way, coming back. One going this way. One going that way. There's one. Can't believe I'm doing a Christmas painting. It's still October. What the heck's wrong with me? But I'm showing you one of the fun things that we might do just around one of my Christmas stories. I'm going to do some serious Christmas stories too, but I thought this would just be a fun little treat to show you. I wasn't going to do that until somebody said, paint a Christmas thing, so I just did it. So here we go. There's a little turquoise bulb right there. That one needs to be tied into the cord. Looks like this is going to need a couple more bulbs before I finish. There's one coming out around right there. That should be blue. This one right here should be blue. Need another yellow one down here. Just don't have enough yellow yet. You want that washed out? Okay, so see where this is headed this morning? All right, let's see. I need a yellow one right here. I need a green one right there. Yeah, it needs a green one right there. So now in the composition of it, I'm looking and I'm sort of pacing. What's missing right there? I'd say a blue one. Nope, there's a blue one right above it. So I'm going to say a... that really needs green. That needs a green to make it pop right there. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, and this one needs to be turquoise right there. All right, so there we go. Excuse me. Man, allergies are killing me. Most people get them in the spring when the pollen. I get them in the fall. All right, so here we go. I'm going to rip this off. Man, it is humid up here. All right. So this is 5.5 by 10 paper, and he's going to say this right here. He's going to say, I got this. Don't want that one green up there. I'd rather have that one maybe a little bit of a different colored blue. There we go. That's a nice blue right there. Let's make one right there. Let's turn that into a bulb. There we go. And then here's one right here. You know what it's like when you get all your Christmas lights out and you roll them up and you spend all this time putting them together, and you're going like, man, these are going to be so great next year when I unroll them. They're going to be fantastic. And so there's your Christmas painting. Let's put some splatters on that with a small brush. Take this one right here. Put a little bit on it, just get a little bit of gray down here, and let's put a little bit of, they're outside probably decorating this tree. There it is right there. Maybe a little bit of a white splatter on this roo back here. Look at that. And a little bit of gray on the Christmas tree. There we go. All right, so there you go. And I'm done. I'm out of here. So there you go. There's the Christmas painting right there. The first one. It's out. All right. Hey, thanks for painting with me this morning. It's been Monday. I think there are about 20 mugs left. If some of you hadn't bought some during the show, it has here it is right here. It has a rooster head on it that says Roodoodles, and that's an original. I'll show you where it is. Take a look. It's right there. There's the head. I drew it and sketched it. That's it right there. Love it. Wanted to do an original on the cup. That's what took so long to get all that done and pressed. I'm leaving here now and going to stamp them all fragile, and I think there's about almost 100 of them that are leaving here today, and so they'll be in the post office heading your way. If you have a bug out bag with it, it's going to be rolled up and down inside there, and I'm going to try, like I said, and print some more of those as soon as I can. Mugs are going to probably be after Christmas, but I'll try to get a few more bug out bags. It's called We're Bugging Out, and that's for all your supplies right there. This is canvas, cotton canvas with a zipper. I think it's 7 by 12, so you got a lot of space to throw art supplies in. Have your art supplies with you when you go. Hey, thanks for being a part of the show. I'm Michael. The grandkids call me Roo, and the paint I use is American Journey from Cheap Joe's, and we'll go through pens and all that stuff later. I'll see you tomorrow. I'm going to paint tomorrow right here at 8:57. That's Eastern. Blessings to you guys, and see you later. It's time for me to get out of here. I got work to do. This was work.